Good afternoon, seniors and parents. Today is our senior celebration day and really marks the beginning of graduation week. Congratulations, you made it. Seniors, I hope your parents have spoiled you this morning with a nice breakfast and you're now enjoying or about to enjoy a special lunch. I'd like to thank the advancement team, the main office team, and so many others who worked diligently to make this day special. I would especially like to thank Mrs. Gaver for her continued work with this event and all other events around graduation, and Mrs. Susan Al-Masri and her team of parent volunteers who've worked so hard to see that this red envelope tradition is able to carry on during these challenging times. Welcome to our red envelope ceremony. We share this tradition and celebration with you, the class of 2020. It is the beginning of a series of acknowledging events to celebrate your time at ASD and your transition to alum only a few days from now. While this event centers around the red envelope process, we do want to share some special messages with you. But don't worry, we will transition through them from one to another and get you to your red envelopes very soon. We'll open with Michelle Kateri, our Director of Advancement, to say a few words to our soon-to-be alumni. As this event is all about you, the class of 2020, it's only fitting that you hear from some of your own. Saki Anand will share a short history with you that will be followed by James Knight, who has a special message for his classmates. Finally, we'll hear one final time from our SGA President, Burke Ergos, before I come back to wrap up and get you on with the day. Mrs. Kateri?
Congratulations, seniors. I'm Michelle Ray-Kateri, Director of Advancement. In just a few short days, you will be graduating from the American School of Dubai. What an accomplishment. You are now joining a group of over 8,000 alumni spread throughout the world. And we look forward to hearing from you about your adventures and your accomplishments. Please do stay in touch and share your stories with us. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. And please note, in your red envelope packets, there's a few surprises from the advancement office. Remember, once a Falcon, always a Falcon.
In the next few days, we will graduate from the American School of Dubai. This day marks the end of yet another unique chapter in our lives. With the end of an era, we are somehow filled with both excitement and anxiety. Because, unlike our English 10 books, there is no SparkNotes guide to reveal the details of the next chapter. We are each now left with our own book of life, and each day that passes is another page that we write in ourselves. Luckily, we've spent the last 14 years preparing for this next chapter. We stand here today, ready with all of the paper and ink that we need to continue writing our stories. From each other, we learned adaptability. Together, we traveled the world. With each destination, we delved into the culture, truly gaining rich experiences. As picky fifth graders, we sought to experience the Bedouin culture, cheering each other on as we drank camel milk in Hatta. As seventh graders, with all the blood, sweat, and tears that we had, we became the first class to successfully summit Poon Hill in Nepal. Nothing was impossible if we could do it together. From our parents, we learned how to love unconditionally. We entered high school as timid freshmen that were even afraid to enter our GRA class. Before we knew it, we were thrown into a whirlwind of APs, SATs, and college applications. Our parents supported us through it all, teaching us algebra on the dining table, cheering us in the stands at MISA competitions, and holding our hands as we opened up college decision letters. We would not be here today if it wasn't for our superheroes. From our teachers, we learned that the sky is our limit. Our teachers taught us all the lessons that we need to be successful in the future. They were our coaches on the field who taught us how to play better. They were our directors on stage who taught us how to perform stronger. They were our role models who taught us you could do anything if you put your heart into it. Outside the classroom, our teachers were our mentors and pushed us to dream big. They taught us that nothing, not even a global pandemic, can stop us from learning. Because of them, we still stand here as the graduating class of 2020. We've been waiting for this moment for the past 14 years. the lessons of adaptability, to love unconditionally, and that the sky is our limit, has been inscribed in our books. Just because this chapter has ended doesn't mean it won't be treasured forever. As we continue on separate paths, we will always remember the lessons that we learned at ASD. With the love and support of our teachers, families, and fellow graduates, our stories will become best sellers. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, parents, esteemed guests, and of course my fellow classmates. It's my privilege to be speaking to you as one of the class historians. My name is James, and I stumbled into the elementary school 10 years ago, equipped only with the worst fringe of all time and some very misplaced motivation to always be the loudest kid in class. Obviously, not much has changed, as here I am fighting to be the center of attention once again. I'm sure this is surreal for everybody. After all, we finished high school. No longer will we navigate the halls of ASD or sprint to class after PE determined to not get into their tardy, or even cut the entire lunch line under the watchful gaze of Morris and Lawrence. We all knew this day was coming, but that doesn't necessarily make it easier. Regardless, I'm confident we're going to leave behind one of the most inspiring stories at ASD that the future classes will marvel at for years to come. Now, most of our stories began here in elementary school, which, as we all know, was a truly polarizing time. We were either battling during the legendary field days or marveling at Miss Hansen's pigeon Lucky, who never once landed voluntarily on my head. Thank you, Lucky. Many of us were mastering the intricacies of the elegant recorder and grinding for that elusive black belt from Mr. Arenas. And who could forget Hatha, where for the very first time we gained a greater appreciation for our beds back at home. Middle school was somehow even more volatile. We made new brothers and sisters in Week Without Walls, whether it be from camping in Tanzania to hiking in Nepal, or even trying to survive a 4-hour bus ride together, which was at the time the most difficult thing that most of us could even imagine doing. We despaired when Right Bite replaced Cactus Cantina, and rejoiced when the J-Bar brought back mint lemonades or the infamous Choco Loco. We tried way too hard at the blacklight and Halloween dances and began to explore our passions, whether they be on the football pitch or in the theater. Finally, high school. High school is where we transformed from wide-eyed, impressionable freshmen into seniors capable of holding the worst grudge of all time against one panel of drywall in the cafeteria. We've persevered together, oftentimes against all odds, through countless APs, unbearable 50-minute assemblies, and college applications. We've celebrated together, whether it be from winning and dominating 3 UCCs in a row, one of them unofficial, getting into university, or finally figuring out how to stay quiet in class. Actually, most of us still don't know how to do that. We've also cried together, whether it be from losing the last precious few months of our senior year, missing senior prank day, or not getting to say a proper goodbye to some of our friends. But one continuity lingers. We did all of this together. We're a family, and regardless of where each of us end up next year, I take great pride in knowing that we're branded for life as the class of 2020. We've survived elementary school, middle school, high school, and a pandemic together. Everything from here on out will be a breeze. Thank you, guys.
Hello, class of 2020, and welcome to the first ever virtual red envelope ceremony. I'd like to congratulate all of you on making it this far and on completing your high school journey. On behalf of all the students, I'd also like to thank all the parents watching today for being with us since day one and for giving us such wonderful opportunities in our education and our lives. I'd also like to thank all the faculty and staff, but most importantly, our teachers, for going beyond just teaching us and for really getting to know us and for supporting us during our time at ASD. Personally, I've had an amazing 4 years here. I'm really going to miss ASD, and I'm sure all of you feel the same way. But for now, let's focus on celebrating our time here. With that, I hope you enjoy today's ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Kateri, Saki, James, and Burke. As we begin this red envelope tradition, I thought it might be nice to share the origins of this practice historically and culturally. The red envelope tradition is rooted in Chinese culture. According to folklore from the Song dynasty, the red envelope's origin lies in the legend of Ang Pao. In the legend, the people of Changchu village suffered from an evil dragon-like creature. No one was able to defeat it, and the villagers lived under constant fear, until a young man named Ang Pao came along. Ang Pao, with a magic saber named Ma Dao, waited for the creature to appear, slayed it, and saved the entire village. The villagers were so overwhelmed with happiness that the elders presented Ang Pao with a red packet filled with money. They believed that by giving him the red packet, they would forever ward off evil. From that day on, red envelopes were viewed as a way to fight inauspicious spirits. ASD adopted this tradition, but the true spirit of the event today at ASD involves friends, family, and faculty placing tokens of wisdom and encouraging thoughts to celebrate your accomplishments and wish you continued blessing and success. We will sign out now and ask that your parents share with you the red envelope packages. You will have some time to go through them now, and we ask that you join us again at 2 p.m. this afternoon for our high school awards ceremony. Again, congratulations, seniors, and we'll see you shortly.